Hello and welcome to Garden and Allotment Tips podcast, hosted by Gardening with Ben. If you've not checked out my main gardening podcast channel, go and check that out. It's called Gardening with Ben, and there's episodes literally every single day on that podcast. And it's getting bigger and bigger and better, and there's like over 160 episodes for you to listen to on there. And we've just uploaded our new podcast, which is talking about all the jobs which need doing in April in the allotment and the garden, because there's so much to get done in time and preparation for getting those allotment and gardens looking absolutely fantastic for the year ahead. And I've certainly been busy with my plot, getting it all ready and all prepared for the plot. So in these podcasts we just talk about one specific topic, and that's usually it, and we concentrate on that one key area. Whereas my other podcast, we talk about all different topics in a podcast. And yeah, it's absolutely massive, my other podcast. So if you've not checked it out, go and find Gardening with Ben. There's a link in the description, or you can just search Gardening with Ben and it will turn up on any platform. So in today's podcast on this podcast channel, we're going to talk about looking after the birds. Yes, that's the wildlife bird, looking after the birds. So on my allotment, I have started looking more at looking after the wildlife. And you might want to think, well, why do you need to look after the wildlife if you if you're wanting to just grow fruit and vegetables? Well, the wildlife plays a key role in that as well. And the reason behind it is, well, the first thing I've started looking after was the bees, where I've been planting all my spring bulbs and all my flowers and everything, and encouraging the bees to the plot. And that's working. I'm certainly seeing a lot of activity with the bees flying around on the plot at the moment, and it's so fantastic to see. I used to hate them as a kid, but now I absolutely adore them, and I know how much they're worth and what job they do. So now that I've been looking after them, I've moved on to another wildlife, and well, I've done another wildlife area, which was my frog area, and I've put a pond in on my plot, and we've got some frogs born in it, and hopefully we'll get lots of froggies on the plot, and they'll be eating all my slugs up and doing that hard work for me, going round at night eating them all up when they're coming out during the rainy time. So yeah, having frogs on the plot will help keep the slug population down. So that is the other area that I've sorted. So now I'm on to my third area of looking after the wildlife, and that is looking after the birds. But obviously looking after the birds can be expensive, because you need to go out and get bird feeders, bird seed and stuff like that. But it is worth it in the end. And I went to the supermarket the other day, and I spent quite a bit on getting a lot of different types of bird feeders. I got some for peanuts, I got some for seed, I got some for fat balls, and yeah, I'm excited. And the only issue is that I put them all up on my last day of being off. So the birds won't have found them when I was on the allotment the other day. It'll take them a few days to find them. So they might all be eaten by the time I get back down to the plot. But I'm definitely wanting to encourage the birds to my allotment. I don't necessarily want to encourage the pigeons, because the pigeons will decimate all your brassica plants, and they'll eat the tops off the onions and stuff like that. But unfortunately it probably will attract them, because they'll go around scrounging all the seeds what fall onto the floor. So we've been out and bought some peanuts, which are obviously like your blue tits and stuff, enjoy them. And we've bought some wild bird seed, so hopefully that all the little birds will enjoy that, like the sparrows and the blue tits and the green tits and wagtails and stuff like that. And I want to see what types of variety of birds I can attract to the plot. And the robins, we obviously get the robins down on the allotment as well. So I want to see as many different varieties of birds I can get down there, because I've got my good camera now, so I can get good pictures of the birds on the bird feeders. And I'm not a bird spotter as in sense, like the twitcher as they call it. I'm just a normal general person who will enjoy seeing wildlife appear on the plot, and that is one thing that I'm going to look forward to. I bought some fat balls because apparently fat balls are very good. They enjoy them and they get a lot of energy from the fat balls. I've also bought some suet blocks what you hang up as well. They were on offer them, so I bought quite a few of them to hang up on my trees, and they look quite substantial and look like they'll last quite a while. But we'll see. We'll see how greedy the birds are. We'll see how many we attract to it. And yeah, obviously putting these seed holders up will attract the rats probably. But it swings and roundabouts, and it'll also obviously encourage the squirrels to the peanut feeder as well. Which I don't mind the squirrels. I actually love seeing the squirrels on my allotment. Yeah, they can dig up all your bulbs and stuff like that, but I do love to see Mr. Squirrel down on the plot. And I really do need to start getting them tame and start feeding them, and just giving them a little treat now and then down at the allotment. So maybe I'll start to get a little pet squirrel down there. We'll see about that, but we've got that to do. And then what else have we done? Oh yes, I talked about it in my main podcast channel. Now that I've got my bird feeders, I've also purchased 4 bird houses as well. Yes, 4. It was something like 2 for £12 online on Amazon. So I purchased 4 because I used to have one years ago, and it attracted some blue tits. I got some blue tits nesting on it, and obviously this time of year is nesting time as well. So if I can get them up ASAP, I may get some families of birds on my plot, and I would love that, to see a little baby. I'd love to see the blue tits flying in and out with all the grubs and the slugs and stuff like that, and feeding them. So that's the key thing what I want to do. And one of the reasons why we should attract the birds to our allotments and to us gardens is because, yeah, they'll obviously eat the seeds, but if they see a slug crawling around on the floor, or if they see a grub wiggling around, they will swoop in and they will get it. So as well as me having my pond and trying to keep the frog population, keeping the slug population down with the frogs, I'll hopefully get the birds helping as well, going around eating all the pests what shouldn't be there on the allotment. So that is my logic behind doing this, and fingers crossed it will work, and we'll have to see. We'll have to give it a shot. Obviously it's worked having all my spring bulbs on the plot. It's encouraged all the bees to it, and with the more bees they will help pollinate all the fruit and when it starts to blossom, and we'll get bigger crops from that. So hopefully attracting the birds and the frogs to the plot, keeping the slugs down, will get less damage, but I doubt it will still get some damage, but it'll keep the slugs down to a minimum, and we'll see how we get on. And I'm looking forward to sharing pictures with you just as the birds are coming down. And obviously once the birds start to find out where this feeders are, I'll be taking lots of pictures, so get ready to be inundated on my Instagram, Gardening with Ben, if you're not following it already. I'll be sharing lots of pictures on there of what I take, and hopefully encourage you all to do it as well. And I've read up on it about having bird feeders and stuff like that, and once you start feeding the birds, obviously you need to keep up with it, because once they find them, they'll keep coming back and keep coming onto your allotment. So if you keep your bird feeders full, the birds will keep coming back. So I need to make sure that I keep a supply of bird feed on me. I'm not going to leave it in my shed or my greenhouse, because I did that once before and I came back and it had all been eaten by rats or mice or something like that. So make sure you take it away with you, or put it in containers where the mice and rats can't get into, but make sure they're very tough, because mice and rats will chew through anything. So make sure you definitely keep them secure. So over this next month or so, I'm going to be looking more into the topic of attracting birds to the plot. And if you've got any tips and advice on what to put in the allotment and garden to attract the birds, let me know. as I'm wanting to learn so much about doing it. I've also picked up some mealworms as well. I think the robins like them, and obviously having different types of seeds and nuts and stuff like that attract different sorts of birds to the plot, because different birds like different food, a bit like humans. So attracting different types of birds will be absolutely fantastic. And I was just talking to my neighbour just now, and he was saying in his sister's garden they get woodpeckers and everything like that. So to get birds like that on my allotment would be absolutely amazing. If you've got bird feeders on your allotment, get in touch with me. Let me know via Instagram or Facebook message on what birds you get in your garden, and I'd love to find out. And tell me what sorts of bird feed that you have. The only bird feed that I didn't buy, what I need to go and get, are some sunflower hearts. I'm sure they absolutely love sunflower hearts as well, the birds. So we need to get some of those on my list as well. But yeah, it's going to be a bird heaven on my plot. Obviously, it's going to cost me money, so I'll have to keep pumping these podcasts out to pay for it. But the more people that listen to these podcasts, the more we can do to help the wildlife. And after I've sorted out looking after the birds, my next plan is to look into butterflies, how to attract more butterflies to my allotment, as I'd really love different types of butterflies to come to my allotment. I get a few, I've seen a few coming down. Obviously they can create caterpillars and stuff like that, and they'll eat your produce and stuff like that, but then the birds will eat the caterpillars and stuff like that. So it all works round in a big circle. But I do love to see butterflies. I'm sure you're the same as me. If you see a butterfly down on your allotment, it would impress you as well. So we're going to be looking after the butterflies next. And then I'm hoping to look into how to attract hedgehogs to the allotment, because again, like frogs, like birds, they will go around eating the slugs at night. Slugs come out at night time. You don't see them coming out in the daytime. They come out at night time. When it's wet and it's damp, they absolutely love it. So we're going to look into getting how to get hedgehogs onto the allotment so that they can go around and eat all the slugs at night, and that would be another big welcome. So yeah, my main key areas on the allotment this year are looking after the wildlife and attracting the wildlife, because attracting them will encourage you to have a great plot and keep the critters away. So yeah, that has been our episode today, talking about how to attract the birds to the allotment. I hope you've enjoyed it. I like talking about all these different topics on what we're doing down at the allotment, and yeah, I really get into it. And I'm hoping to get more podcasts on this channel this month, as we didn't get many on this last month. But yeah, I'm certainly going to be improving this podcast platform and getting more episodes out there for you. So if you're new to this podcast channel, make sure you do click that subscribe button or that follow button, and you will get notified when a new podcast comes up. And keep sharing them. Share them on Instagram as well. If you're listening on Spotify, you can click that share button and it'll share to your Instagram story. But don't forget to tag me in it so that I know that you've shared it as well. And I just want to say thank you for all your support and all the people that have subscribed to it. I think we've got over 100 subscribers on Spotify now. So thank you for everybody that has subscribed to it. And it's free to subscribe as well, which is good. It's just helps me get known more. And if you've not left a review yet, please leave a star rating review on Spotify, or if you're listening on Apple, please leave a review, a written review, and it just helps get my profile out there and more people listening as well. So make sure you listen to Gardening with Ben podcast if you've not listened to that one yet. Plenty of episodes on there for you to listen to. Until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts.